Hey guys, this week's video I'm going to be offering you 6 helpful tips for those of you with a newborn baby. Tip 1 is timing. Timing is key with newborn babies. And when I say newborn, I'm talking 0 to around 8-9 weeks of age. At that age, they don't have a lot of time that they can stay awake for. You've really only got a window of 45 minutes to an hour maximum. And in that time, you have to feed, burp, change, and if you've got a little bit of time left, offer a little bit of tummy time. But then what they need to do after around 45, 50, 60 minutes is to be ready to go down for another nap or a nap. My second tip is to ensure that your baby is not feeding for too long, because babies tire quickly. They just don't have a lot of stamina. And if your little one is spending more than 30, 40, 50 minutes on the breast, the chances are they're using that as comfort, not as feeding. So my advice with feeding would be to ensure that if your baby is taking both sides, to allow for your baby to feed between 10 to 15 minutes per side before pulling them off and they're done. Or if they're just feeding on one side and that's all they're doing, I wouldn't allow any longer than 20 to 30 minutes maximum for that one side. But once you've reached that limit of 20 to 30 minutes, then you need to pull your baby off, offer a burp, and then go ahead and change and do a little bit of tummy time if you've got some time left, and then get them ready for their nap. So that's my second tip. My third tip is to use white noise. Now, babies have just come out of a loud environment. In the womb, they are used to 90 decibels 24/7. So white noise, loud white noise, is the absolute key to success here. Whether you use an app on your phone or you use a white noise machine, my only advice in the white noise department would be to use something that you don't need to use batteries, because if you're starting from now, you're going to go through a million batteries with the amount of time you're going to be using that white noise. So have something that you can charge, and then that's portable as well, that you can take with you, because obviously with a newborn baby, they nap so often, you're not going to be stuck at home all the time. So when you do go out, you've got the opportunity to take white noise with you. Just another tip there, when you do go in the car, a lot of babies hate the car, especially newborn babies. Use the white noise through the Bluetooth speaker in the car. That tends to calm them. Make sure they've had a feed not long ago before you've actually left. So even if they fed an hour ago, you might want to give them a little top up before you get in the car, and play that white noise through the car and tuck them in. Make sure they're tucked in quite snug as a bug, whether you use a swaddle or a blanket, but tuck them in so they're all cocooned in. And hopefully those 3 tips will help you for car rides with your newborn baby. Tip 4 is to ensure that your newborn baby does not sleep for too long during the day. This is the absolute key to success at night, because newborn babies only have so many Z's in their tank for one long nap. And if you get that one long nap during the day, you're not going to get long naps at night or long sleep at night. So my advice with day naps is to cap it at 2 hours. If you have a newborn baby that is sleeping long periods of time through the day, wake them up after 2 hours. And when I say wake them up, you don't have to go and shake them, and make sure they wake up. Turn the white noise off, maybe unswaddle them a little bit, and they will start to wake up naturally on their own around the 2 hour mark. And if they don't, they might need a little bit of help to wake up. But I certainly wouldn't allow them to sleep longer than 2 hours, because like I said, you're going to have a newborn that probably wants to party through the night if they've had too much day sleep. My 5th tip is to ensure that your newborn baby is swaddled nice and tight. Again, they've recently come from the womb where they are snug as a bug. They're tight, they can feel all their surroundings. If they are not snug and if they are not swaddled, their startle reflex will wake them up, and they will find it really difficult to fall asleep, and they'll find it really difficult to stay asleep. So having them really snug is absolute key to success with naps as well, and obviously nighttime sleep. My final tip is to, at nighttime, don't rush to your baby so quickly to offer a feed. This is probably by far the biggest surprise that I see with parents that I work with newborn babies. As soon as Bub wakes through the night or starts to stir or starts to make a little bit of noise, especially for parents who have older children. And I get it. You want to get to that newborn quickly as possible because you want to keep them quiet, you want to feed them, you want to put them back to sleep. But in a lot of cases, your baby doesn't need a feed, especially if it hasn't exceeded 3 or 4 hours. So newborn babies in particular, they're noisy. They're grunting, they groan, they squirm, they move, they pull, and they're loud. And that's normal, and that's okay. So you just got to kind of, look, if it hasn't been 3 or 4 hours, ideally 4, give them the opportunity to drift back off to sleep. They might even need a little bit of padding. And if you've got a dummy, use the dummy. Plug the dummy in, give them a bit of padding, and just see how you go. of course you don't want to, if they're absolutely screaming that they're hungry, you don't want to continue patting and stalling. That's not what this is about. But it's about giving them an opportunity to grunt and groan and possibly go back to sleep, because you might be surprised. I've worked with many families, and just the workshop that I've done recently with newborn babies, that the mums are rushing in there feeding them, and once we've had this conversation, I get messages the very next day saying, oh my God, I didn't rush, and believe it or not, he only woke up once and fed. Or in another case, she didn't rush at all, and her daughter slept all night at 3 months old, because she was just offering unnecessary feeds. So it's very, very common, and your baby might surprise you. So as long as they're getting the calories they need through the day, they might surprise you. And the best thing you can do is not rush in so quickly to offer that night feed. So look, I hope that helps anyone out there with a newborn baby. It gives you a few tips on what to do and how to survive this phase, I suppose. And yeah, stay tuned for next week's video.